What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you today with the Evil deck list. We use this Evil deck in the most recent duel video series, so if you haven't already checked out those duel videos, please do so. I'm sure I'll have links to them down here at the bottom of the screen in annotations. So if you could go check out those duel videos, then come on back and take a look at this profile. Alright, so I'm going to get started with the monsters. First up, we have, of course, 3 Cerato, 3 Vulcano, and 3 Diplo. I know a lot of people only like 2 Vulcano and 2 Diplo, but I really felt drawing the Evolsaurs before I can get them out with an Evoltile effect. And because of this, I really wanted to up the count to make sure that I would always have an Evolsaur in the deck for an Evoltile effect. I also added Primordial Soup for that same reason, which I'll get to in just a little bit in the profile. Okay, up next, we're going to have 3 copies of Westlo, 3 copies of Najasho, and of course our 1 copy of Gorz, and that's going to round up the monster count for this deck. Okay, now for spells, we're playing 3 copies of the Evo-Diversity. This is the Rota of the deck. Really no explanation more is needed than that. Then we have 3 copies of Evo-Force. This is probably one of our main combo piece of the deck. And we're playing 1 enemy controller. I've seen lots of builds with 2 or even 3 enemy controllers, but I just find it way too situational to kind of up the count to it. Now I know you can always, put their monster in defense and then hit with like a Cerato that's been brought out with an Evoltile effect, but that is so situational and almost never comes up really that I don't think it warrants the extra enemy controllers. And I think just 1 teched in works for me, for my personal favorite. I'm also playing 1 teched in Primordial Soup. As I kind of explained earlier, you really don't want to draw into your Evolsaurs. You want to bring them out with Evoltiles in their effects, so you need to keep them into the deck. And when you draw them normally, that would just make them essentially a dead card almost, because they're not going to get their effect, and a lot of them have really low attack. And so I've been testing out the Primordial Soup quite a bit. I kind of like it. I like it at 1. I tried it at 2, just so I can kind of draw it faster. And at 2 is not good because then you can end up drawing 2 of them, or 1 of them late game when you don't need it anymore. But just 1 teched in kind of works for me. It doesn't really hurt the deck. More times than not, it's helped. And a lot of time when you plop that out, especially if you get it first turn, your opponent's just kind of like, whatever. And then you throw 2 Evolsaurs back in, draw 2 new cards, get the Evoltile you'll need, and maybe a back row or something like that. And then you go to the next round. If you've drawn another Evolsaur, you're like, let me throw this back in and grab another card, hopefully an Evoltile or something else. And then after a while, your opponent's like, man, that crap is really I need to get that off the field. And more times than not, they waste an MST or something on it. And I found it really useful. Alright, then we got Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, 2 MSTs, and then 2 Pot of Dualities. This is, of course, for when we're setting up with maybe our Westlo or something, or we just don't have an Evoltile and we're forced to summon a Cerato just to get over the Thunder King or something like that. And then we can go ahead and go into our Pot of Duality plays. Now, for our traps, we're playing 2 copies of Solemn Warning, 2 copies of Torrential Tribute, 2 copies of Mirror Force, 2 copies of Compulse, and 1 copy of Bottomless, and then 1 copy of Deep Prison. And that's going to do it for my trap lineup. Okay, so for the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of Laggia. I might up this up to 3. There's been some times where I felt like I could have really used the 3rd Laggia. We'll see. 2 copies of Dolkka. I think this is working just fine. For rank 3s, just in case, you never know, I've actually gone into Leviathan, the Sea Dragon, quite a few times, and even Zenmaines a couple times. So we're just playing 2 rank 3 exceeds, just in case, you never know. For the rest of our rank 4s, we've got Photon Butterfly Lady, we've got the Maestroke, Steelswarm Roach, Gem-Knight Pearl, number 39 Utopia. For kind of our more techie, wombo combo-ish kind of exceeds, as WK Dad would like to say, we have our number 91 Thunder Spark Dragon, our Vylon Disigma, which I think is really a great card, actually. And then we're playing 2 copies of Shockmaster, because Shockmaster we're able to go into multiple times in each duel, assuming we get the right combo off, which is actually really not that hard. So I'm going to go over some of the combos right now with it. Okay, so the best combo there is for Evils really is getting Najasho and Evo-Force in your hand. You don't really want to get this first turn per se, because you want to already have an Evolsaur monster in the graveyard. Basically, all you got to do is summon Najasho, activate your Evo-Force, sending it to the graveyard. Allows you to bring out 2 Evolsaurs. You want to bring out Vulcano, and another one. I just picked Cerato for this instance. Vulcano's effect will then bring out your third Cerato, or your other your third Evolsaur, I should say. Then you can go ahead and overlay for an easy triple rank 4. Most commonly, we're going to go into Shockmaster. But, if your opponent's got a really big monster that we can't get over, maybe something like a BLS or a Judgment Dragon or whatever, we can go ahead and go into something else like Vylon Disigma. This allows us to take their monster and equip it to our card, and so we're able to attack over their big monsters for that case. Or if your opponent has just a massive amount of field and just making it to where they can't use spells or traps or monster effects, or even just sucking up one monster is going to be enough, we can always go into number 91 and just clear out their field, which can be the best choice sometimes. Typically, I would say Shockmaster is definitely your main choice. That's why we're playing 2 of them in the deck. Okay, so for our next combo, we need to have 2 Evolsaurs in the graveyard, a set Westlo, and then 1 Evo-Force in hand. How this combo works is you're going to go ahead and flip Westlo for its effect. This allows you to go ahead and special summon out a Vulcano from your deck. This then allows you to go ahead and special summon out one of the Evolsaurs that's in your graveyard. From there, we're going to activate our Evo-Force on Westlo. This allows us to then bring out another Vulcano, getting us our final Evolsaur that's in the graveyard. From there, we can overlay both of these cards into both maybe a Laggia and a Dolkka, getting both Laggia and Dolkka out in the same turn, or possibly 2 Laggia or whatever. Or if you've you still have your normal summon as well, so instead of going into a Dolkka, perhaps you can just summon out your third Evolsaur and then go in for a Shockmaster or something of that nature. Whatever you think is the best option for you at the time. Alright, and there you have it, YouTube. This was my Evol's deck that I used in the most recent duel video. I actually used this deck quite a bit on Dueling Network, so if you ever want to duel against this deck, please come find me on Djinn. My screen name is simply GalacticGod, all one word. I'll be more than happy to kind of duel you with this deck. So in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of my Evol build? Any kind of constructive criticism is always also welcomed. Any ways that you think I can improve the deck, stuff that you like that I've done with the deck, other combos that you think I've missed, anything like that is always good to hear about. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.